Good morning. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's Legacy Lab. I'm so glad you're here. Now, before we get started, let me know if you can hear me and see me. If so, drop a $ emoji in the chat. I'm checking to see. Okay. I'm glad you can hear me and see me. Now, you need to let me know how you're feeling. Drop me a question mark emoji if you've been meaning to get your money and estate handled. A question mark emoji if you've been meaning to get your money and estate handled. I see the question marks. What about a fire emoji? If you're fired up and you're done delaying and you're ready for structure. Okay. Let me see. I see it. Oh, I see some fire emojis. Thank you so very much. Good. So let's get started. What is our theme today? The theme is transfer with ease. And regardless of the title, we have one main theme. What is it? 2026 is your year to protect the bag, grow the bag, enjoy the bag, and then pass the bag on. Okay. So, hello again. Welcome back to the Legacy Lab. Can you believe it is week 6 already? Today, we're going to dive into the final step of our Smart Legacy Framework, the T. The T is for transfer with ease. Again, it says making estate transition smooth from your family and for yourself. I'm so proud of you for hanging out with me from week 1 until now. Give yourselves a hand, right? For showing up for the legacy. Yes, for your legacy. Now, if this is your first time, you're right on time. That's fine because these sessions are designed to stand alone, but they also build as well. So, this isn't your typical stuffy legal lecture, okay? I know I teach law, but it's a live conversation. These are weekly Legacy Lab working sessions. When I say Legacy Lab, I'm talking about where we take a small intentional step to manage what we already own. We're talking about our money, our property, and our responsibilities. So get comfy, grab your notebook, and maybe a little cup of coffee or tea, right? And let's chat. I want you to feel the confidence today that you can make estate transitions smoother for you and your family. This step is all about ensuring everything you built, right? Pause and enjoy it. Then later make sure that it actually reaches your loved ones with minimal drama. And trust me, it's possible. As always, this class is going to be interactive. Every Legacy Lab is designed to give you just one win that you can actually keep. So all you need to do is be willing to do the work and keep an open heart because I plan to leave you empowered to act. That sound good? Well, let's do it. All right, let me set some expectations. In other words, set the tone, okay? By telling you what this session first is not about. Again, I'm telling you, it's not a dry legal snooze fest. No. You won't worry about me rattling off code sections or use some big legal Latin words. Now, if you show up for my legal courses, well, I have to throw some of that legalese on you, okay? But otherwise, we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it conversational and human here, okay? It's law made simple. And if I can, I try to sprinkle in a little fun too, okay? We're not going to cover every obscure detail of estate law. But we're going to focus on practical tools and big principles that you actually can use right away. So this is not about scaring you or making you feel guilty for what you haven't done. No, no shame here. We're focusing on empowerment and forward action. The past is the past. Today, you're taking charge, and that's what matters. I'm telling you, that matters. Also, I'm not here to push you into anything. Yes, I'm going to mention some resources. I'm going to offer you some things. Again, I have offers to present, but there's going to be zero pressure. You'll be able to take what serves you and then just toss the rest out. So finally, I want you walking away feeling lighter and more prepared, not overwhelmed. Does that sound fair? All right. Now, quick check. Are we all on the same page? You feeling good? Well, let's keep rolling. Before we jump in deep, I got a quick but important disclaimer. I am an attorney, but today I am not your attorney unless we got a separate, agreement and that's different. But this session is educational. My goal is to inform and empower you, not to give you direct legal advice. It's particularly not for your individual situation, okay? Because every family and every estate is going to be unique. So if you need personal guidance, you're going to have to consult a qualified attorney. Find one in your area, okay? Because I'm in Texas. We're here in Texas, and I'm going to talk about Texas law. Can't help that. Plus, I am the Texas law diva after all, right? But the principles apply broadly that I'm going to be focusing on, okay? Still, always check your local laws and just go and hire someone if you need assistance. Also, I want to say there's no attorney-client relationship being formed in this session. Because again, basically, I'm just going to guide you and teach you today. And I'm not going to be your lawyer. Everything I share is accurate to the best of my knowledge and to my 20 years of experience, but use it as a starting point for your own planning. Okay. Now we got all that out of the way. I feel like I can speak freely and frankly. Are you ready? What? Wait a minute. What did I say? I said ready. Well, you got you guys know what to do. Let me see. Do I see ready in the chat? Yes. Okay, well, let's continue because y'all are ready. Thank you so very much for being ready. Who is this for? You might be wondering, is this session really for me? This lady is a bit much. She got her people putting ready in the chat, and I don't even know what that's all about. What's going on? Let's see. I'll let you know. It's for you if you worked hard to build something, money, property, business, anything, and you want to make sure it actually benefits the people and your dreams. You love even when you're not here. This is for you if you care deeply about your family's future and never want them to suffer through legal chaos after you're gone. It's for you if you maybe been putting off the tough talks and paperwork, but you're done with procrastination. You're here ready to learn how to protect your legacy with practical steps. And if you're worried that estate planning is too complicated, or you thought, I'm too young, I get it, like me. Yeah, I do, I get it. I don't need that. Or you said, can I wait just a little longer? I'm going to tell you, this is especially for you. I'm going to break it down in plain language. So you leave saying, I got this. Basically, if you care enough to protect what you built for your loved ones and for yourself, both now while you're alive and well, and after you're gone, I'm telling you, this lesson is for you. So stick around. All right. You belong here. Let's see. Where are we in the process? Let's cover our SMART roadmap. Before we zero in on the T, talking about transfer, let's zoom out for a second. Now, over the past weeks, we've been building what I call the SMART legacy framework, a step-by-step strategy to seize, manage, accelerate, grow, protect, and transfer your legacy. Each letter stands for a phase in our journey. Let's look at it. S, we began there. Start, the C's. That's phrase one. Taking charge of your financial foundation. Remember, that was by week 1 or 2 when we tackled the mindset and got organized. You seize control of your legacy by what? Getting clear on what you have and what you want to build. Then M, we move to manage, managing your money and your assets wisely. We're talking about budgeting, eliminating your debt, making sure your financial houses run smoothly. That was all about preserving and directing resources so you can create a legacy. A, accelerate, which is to amplify and advance, growing your wealth, investments, smart tax moves, remember? Building that nest egg or even a business. Really, that's making your money work for you so your legacy expands. Or that was in our last sessions, retention. We're talking about protection. That was the main thing, the R step. We learned how to reinforce what you've already built. We didn't directly address some of these things, but we're really talking about like having insurance, getting asset protection, getting your legal shields in place. Because life can always pop up with surprises. So you can have lawsuits, illness, you name it, but they're not going to derail you and derail your legacy plans. You put locks on the doors of your financial houses, per se. Then the T. Here we are. We're at the transfer, but I'm talking about transfer with ease. This is the grand finale where you can ensure that when the time comes, all that wealth and wisdom and property that you've been accumulating, it's going to flow to the right people at the right time. But I want you to do it with minimum stress. This is where we make certain that your legacy actually lives on beyond you smoothly, but only after you took time enough to pause and enjoy it yourself. We're not just trying to stack it all up and tuck it away for others to enjoy. We're going to stack it up. We're going to stack it high now and still stay around long enough to stay fly, right? Think of smart as building your own customized, beautiful, valuable luxury car over the past weeks, okay? And now we at transfer, and we're going to talk about transfers, teaching you how to hand those keys to the next driver without the car crashing. We want a smooth handoff of your wealth and wishes to the next generation, whoever you choose, right? So I'm saying by the end of today, you'll see why this transfer step is the ultimate act of love in the plan. You worked for it, you built it, you lived it. Now it's time, I say, it's time to protect it. So it benefits you while you're here and then them when you're not. So let's dive into how to make this happen, okay? Let's see. First, who am I? Let's talk about it. Who am I? I am TaQuita Hogan-Claiborne, also known as your Texas Law Diva. I'm a probate estate planning attorney, legal educator, the founder of Law Office of TMAC, as well as the owner of Moolah Management. You guys, if you know me, I spent over 20 years teaching law. I practice as well. I've also maintained a position as a chief legal officer. I was advising multi-million dollar corporations. I'm talking about from California, Singapore, the Netherlands, and other countries, Houston, and so many other states and countries in between. I spent so much time guiding families through complex legal and money decisions. But if you never met me before, I'm about to just tell you what you need to know about me. I am truly a first generation net worth millionaire, a legal expert. I'm a wife, I'm a mother. I have two fabulous children. I'm just not saying it. I'm just not bragging. They are really great children. Okay, enough about them, right? Let's set something straight. We're going to be focusing on probate. So I need to go back and set the record straight about probate. Again, I mentioned this. We went over this. Probate is not the enemy. I got to be clear about it because you might think I'm biased because I'm a probate attorney. But probate is not punishment. It's not. It's not chaos. It's just the legal process that steps in when no plan exists. And even when there is a plan, and you need the judge to help you implement it, it's there for you. It is. So a lot of people feel like it's just so overwhelming. I know probate can feel overwhelming, but it's not the enemy. The real problem really is when people delay decisions and let the court decide for them. So my particular job, why I chose this area of the law, is to make sure that families don't end up in unnecessary probate situations. And then when probate is necessary, because a lot of times it's going to be necessary, I try to do whatever I can to make it smoother, make it move faster, and become less costly. But that usually only works when we have a plan. Okay, so why devote this whole session talking about the transfer with ease? I'm just going to tell you it's because a plan that's not transferred properly can become a nightmare for your family. And I'm really here to let you know that we're going to do whatever we can to try to prevent that. So let's get real for a minute. Have you ever seen or maybe heard of a family fighting over an inheritance? The family got an inheritance, and then as soon as everybody received it, they just been bickering about it from day one. Sadly enough, that's pretty common. Studies show without proper estate, I think I even have it in my slide for yes, right here. Studies show that without proper estate planning, 58% of people have seen family disputes and assets getting tied up in court. That's more than half. They inherited and they end up fighting about it in court. I don't want that for your family, and I definitely don't want that for my family. And I know you don't either. So the last thing we want is for our legacy to trigger confusion, delays, or unnecessary court involvement. So here's the truth about it. If you don't decide what happens to your stuff, the state, the court, they're going to decide for you. And trust me, let me tell you, like I said, as a probate attorney, their way is slow and impersonal. They don't personally invest in what's going on in your life. They're going to follow the code. In fact, to kind of put it plain, I'm going to tell you in my Texas Law Diva fashion. If you don't make a plan while you're living, the law has a default plan when you're gone, and nobody in your family is likely going to enjoy it. As I often tell people and say frequently, if you don't decide, decisions still get made for you. Who's making the decision? The judges, the IRS, the state. So, what we want you to do is to be in the driver's seat, not some court or some code book. So, transfer with ease matters because it's about protecting your loved ones from confusion, from conflict, and from unnecessary court proceedings. After you're gone, it's about making sure that the wealth you built actually ends up in the hands it's meant for, and as quickly and easily as possible. Just think about it. When you worked hard your whole life, you hate to have those assets frozen for months or years or to see your kids or spouse in legal limbo. Yet that's exactly what can happen without a smooth transfer plan. Now, let's be real. Even a basic will, if a lot of times it's going to have to go through probate because here in Texas, that can mean 6 to 8 months or even a year of waiting, even when nobody's even fighting. And if there is confusion, if we got tension going on or we got some missing pieces to the plan, the timeline stretches out even further. And so does the cost. You probably say, well, okay, TaQuita, well, how much are we talking? How much does it cost? It's about $4,000 to $15,000. On the average, we charge a minimum of $3,500 to $7,000 for simple cases. And a little conflict or chaos uh, pops up, it jumps to 10,000 plus in a minute. And yes, I'm an attorney, but I'd rather for your money to go to your family than the court fees and unnecessary legal fees, bills and accumulation of all these things that you have to pay. Because the real flex isn't just having assets, it's protecting them with a plan that actually works. So yes, this step matters. It matters a whole lot. Done right, I'm telling you, it avoids fights, it saves money, and most importantly, it spares your family unnecessary pain when they're already hurting from losing you. Now, pay me what's due, but let the rest stay with you, right? You got that? I'll say this. Planning your transfer is planning for your family's peace. Today, I'll show you how to do it. Again, we're going to do this with ease and grace. But here, I'm going to give you a little story. Many people think I have a will, so, I'm good. That's all I need, right? Oh, I'm going to tell you, I have a story for you. In my slide, you can see that's me standing there with my father on my wedding day. He's walking me down the aisle. So this one's going to be personal. And it's why I'm so passionate about this topic. When my father passed, he did. He actually had a will. We were relieved. We thought, okay, at least dad took that step. Everything will be straightforward. Considering, he had 6 kids, he had 3 former wives, pretty good, decent estate. At that time, when this occurred, I was in law school. I didn't know much like everyone else. I figured we'll have no problems. But guess what? Even with the will in hand, we had problems. The reality smacked us. A will alone just wasn't enough to save us from mess. I'm going to paint the picture for you. We found ourselves disagreeing about stuff that should have been easily agreeable. Heck, he written it down. He had a will. It was all in the will. So we hired an attorney. The will had to be officially admitted to the judge because in Texas, again, a will is worth practically nothing without the court first validating it, right? So we got that done because we needed the court papers to go to the bank and all the other institutions to release everything we needed them to release. Then it hit me. Dad's will is just step number one. The real work to transfer these assets smoothly hadn't even been done yet. To make it worse, listen, there was confusion amongst the family. Things just didn't go exactly as he planned. Emotions got high. We were grieving and we were stressed. And I'll be honest with you, I felt a little angry and I felt guilt. I'm going to say anger that we had to go through this mess of a maze instead of just celebrating my dad's life. And guilt because as his firstborn, his oldest child, I thought maybe I should have figured this out. Dang, think about it. I was in law school. I was a law student. But here's the thing, my dad thought a will was going to be enough. And most people do. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't lazy. He did what he knew best. Okay. But we did know what we didn't know. And we paid the price in stress and time. My siblings and I, we lost about 10 years. We weren't speaking to each other to like 10 years. And if we're honest with ourselves, the relationship is still a little estranged. Yeah. That experience taught me firsthand that a will is not the only answer. A will is certainly it's important. Yeah, it certainly is important. Everyone should have one, but it's just one part of a complete plan. In fact, relying only on a will is one of the most common estate planning mistakes. I'm sharing this story not to scare you, not to underscore why we need more than just a will. I never want your family to feel the frustration mine did during an already heartbreaking time. My father loved us. He loved us deeply. I know that. And if he had known about other tools like Living Trust, he probably would have used them in a heartbeat to save us that trouble. So I take that lesson forward and I pass it to you. I'm telling you, I'm passing to you with love. The takeaway about this, look, wills are essential, but they're not the whole story. They're a powerful step, but they don't cover everything. It just leave gaps. It doesn't avoid probate. It doesn't handle titles, accounts, and access to a lot of the things you still need to get access to. So even with a will, your loved ones could still be left guessing or waiting. That's why transfer planning goes deeper. But don't worry, I'm telling you today, we're going to fill in those gaps. I got some tools for you, okay? So let's break down the reason a simple will by itself might fall short. Probate is required. It is. As we saw in my story, having a will still means your estate goes through probate court. In most cases, again, here in Texas, for example, a will must be probated to have legal effect. Otherwise, it's just a piece of paper. It's just a wish list. Simply just a wish list because you never got it validated. Probate isn't evil, but it's a formal process that takes time and money. Your beneficiaries can't access many of those assets without the process, right? And it has to be completed. So a will is like an instruction letter to the judge, not a bypass around the judge. No, judges sees it. If not, nothing's going to happen. What about this? No help during incapacity. A will only speaks after you die. It does zero for you if you are alive and you become incapacitated. I'm saying like you're unconscious or mentally unable to make your own decisions. Incapacitated, right? Let's say you have a stroke. The will can't go and pay the bills for you. The will can tell your doctors what to do. There's other documents for that. And we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to tell you about those documents. But without those other documents, your family might have to seek guardianship from a court to handle these things. And that's a whole separate ordeal, okay? Contest and confusion. They can be contested. When I say contested, I'm talking about they can be challenged or they can be misunderstood. If the wording isn't crystal clear, or if someone expected something else, it starts triggering disputes. And once a will is contested, that changes the whole dynamic. Yes, it's still going to go to the judge, but things slow way down because technically it moves from uncontested hearing to a contested lawsuit. It's litigation now. And the state can be tied up for months or even years. I've seen it tied up for years. So I'm sure none of us want our family in a courtroom battling it out for years to come. What about coverage gaps? Some assets might not even be covered neatly in a will. I'm going to give you an example. What about a home that's jointly owned? We have a party, they have a home, but they decided to also own it with their child. Okay, they jointly own it, or they have accounts with beneficiary forms, designated beneficiary forms. Those forms, those documents usually override what the will say. Why? Because a lot of people don't know this, but contract law trumps estate law. Okay, no pun intended. I know I said the word, but okay, no pun intended. It's just facts. Contract law trumps estate law. So what am I saying? I'm saying this. If you forgot to update a beneficiary on, say, a life insurance policy, the will can't change it. The will can't tell you now give it to someone else. The policy is going to pay out whoever's on that policy. Many people are really surprised by this. So you need to coordinate your will with other of your asset papers, okay? I got family dynamics. A will can't magically make everyone happy. If you didn't get along with your aunts and your siblings before your relative died, it's not going to change. Siblings that already had tension, I know that. It's going to still be there. Simply sometimes reading the will saying dad gave the truck to Bobby could spark drama if not handled sensitively. Sometimes additional planning, like if you just have a conversation about it while you're alive or write it out, write a letter to them, giving instructions, explaining your wishes, or using other tools like trust. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Some of those things can ease all of that for you. So what I'm telling you that a will is a necessary tool. Yes, it is necessary. Please just don't leave with that and don't go without one, but think of it as just step one of a broader plan. It's the foundation, let's say that the foundation, not the whole house, just the foundation to the house. So by itself, It might leave cracks through which a lot of trouble can start seeping in, okay, and ruining the foundation that you've already established. The good news, we have ways to reinforce and complement your will so that the cracks get sealed. So in a minute, I'm going to start talking about some of these key tools like power of attorneys, PODs, and trusts, okay? That kind of you pick the ones that work along with your will, and then you make sure that you have a smoother transition, okay? But together, it's working and put them together is kind of forming that ironclad legacy smart plan. All right, so before I get all into all these different solutions, I want us to pause and take a quick little micro win because again, you've already approached your win number one. We're not even halfway through, and look at what you're learning. Your win number one, you busted the myth that having a will means my estate planning is complete. You probably thought that. Not everyone knows that, but now you do. That knowledge alone is golden, I'm telling you. So take a second and reflect. Did you know that though? Did you know a will still needed probate and other documents before today? Did you? If you didn't, you do now. I'm telling you, that's a win. It means you're already more prepared than a lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people out here have no idea. They think that will is some type of way create some magic wand, but you leveled yourself up in your legacy knowledge. You feel that? I'm saying I feel it. I just built a confidence start creeping in on you. So give yourself a pat on the back. Come on, do it with me. Pat yourself on the back. Okay, you want to participate? Then drop me a light bulb emoji because I think it's an eye opening moment for you because we're turning on the lights in some dark rooms today, and we're just getting started. I'm telling you, just getting started. All right. With the myth out of the way, with that one out of the way, I'm going to move on from problems to solutions. It's time for me to start filling in your toolkit. Got some tools for your toolkit. And these are some very powerful legal tools that can help making that transfer easier, right? Let's start with tool number one. Something you'll need while you're alive. This is the power of attorney. Power of attorney. Yes, while you're live, often abbreviated with the POA. How does this relate to transfer with ease? And I saw it. See, I didn't say that, but I saw it already in the chat. I saw it. I slipped it in there and you caught it. All right, y'all with me today. How does this relate to transfer with ease? Well, think of this. Transfer with ease isn't only about what happens after you die, it's also about transferring decision making power while you're still alive, but maybe unable to act yourself. You see that? Life, I mean, get ready because life be throwing us curveballs. If you were to fall ill, let's say, or get in an accident and couldn't manage your affairs, who's going to step in? That's where power of attorney comes in. The power of attorney answers that. So let me explain it to you a little bit more detail. What is it? What is a POA? Again, it's a legal document where what are you going to do? You're just appointing someone you trust to act on your behalf for financial and also sometimes for medical. There's different forms. One for financial and another one for medical, but they're there to make the decisions for you if you cannot. Those two types. Financial is durable power of attorney for your money, your property, your bills, and all of that. Then your medical power of attorney for your health care decisions. And we're going to focus on just the financial side, okay? But you're going to want to get both financial and the health care POA. Why is it important? Why bother with a POA? Because without a POA, if you just so happen become incapacitated, your family might have to go to court to get a guardianship or a conservatorship to access your accounts and then be able to pay your bills. That's so costly and so time consuming. But when you have the POA, your chosen agent can step in immediately to keep things running. It's like you're handling them a spare set of keys to your life's house. Okay, we put it like that. To use only if needed. Instead of the doors locking on your finances, your agent can open them and do what's necessary. Pay your mortgage, manage your business, handle your insurance, you name it. They can do it for you. All right, let me just give you an example. Imagine you unexpectedly fall into a coma. Oh, not gonna well, I'm not gonna speak that on nobody. Not. With a POA, the person you name say, let's say you got a spouse. It could be your spouse, an adult child, or even your best friend. They can seamlessly pay your bills. They can contact the utility company. They can manage your investments, whatever it is, whatever you had lined up that you needed to have done and need to have done, they can do it. But without it, people don't even know that even your spouse can be stuck. The banks can freeze up the accounts. They won't even talk to them sometimes if they're not on the account with a spouse that's incapacitated. Those accounts can be frozen. And the next thing you know, the families petition a judge for permission to get basic things done. And you don't want that. So here's the bottom line about POA. It helps transfer control smoothly during life's emergencies. It's a gift to your family because it prevents panic and paralysis. They can act with your authority, backing them up. So that's tool number one. You with me so far? You with me? Great, because I got to move on to tool number two. It's going to keep things easy when you're not. Yes, I see you're ready, ready, ready. Number two, let's talk about some tongue twister acronyms that are per gold for easy transfer. POD and TOD. These stand for payable on death and transfer on death. Despite the morbid sound, payable on death and transfer on death, I'm telling you, they super handy. Just get past that word. Super handy and actually quite simple. Let me explain it to you. What are PODs and TODs? They are basically, as I listed here for you, beneficiary designations for financial accounts and assets. So let's say you designate someone as payable on death on your bank account. You know what that means? That means when you pass, that person can walk right into the bank with a death certificate and their ID, and the money will be handed right over to them directly. No probate is needed. Okay, similar to the transfer on death. It can be used for things like investment accounts, brokerage accounts, and even in some places like real estate and even vehicles. Yeah, vehicle titles. It means ownership automatically transferred to your named beneficiary when you die. These tools turn those assets into what we call non-probate assets. They skip the court process entirely. Here in Texas, for example, you can set up a bank account, again, a brokerage account to be POD, TOD, and that money will pass, like I said, to your beneficiary without any court involvement. You know that's cool. How cool is that? It's an express lane to the assets and the transfer, and you don't even need the judge. I'm gonna give you a really good example. Let's say in that bank account, it's your savings account, and you got $20,000 in there. And if you go to the bank, you fill out that card, POD card, and you have a beneficiary on there, and you say, let's say you got a child, you have a daughter, because I have a daughter. Let's say I have a daughter. So you have a daughter, you put the daughter name as a beneficiary on that account. POD, beneficiary. So when you pass, she goes to the bank. The bank will pay out that $20,000 to her directly. But if you don't have her as a POD beneficiary on this same account, that account more than likely is going to be frozen until probate is open. And when you open probate, you got to get an executor or you got to get an administrator. And then that person comes to court, get an authority from the court, then they get to go and collect whatever's in the account, get access to it, get the money out. And that takes a minute. Did you kind of feel the big difference between the example when you have the POD and when you don't have the POD? I'm just saying, yes, I see the thumbs up. Think of POD designation, like putting direct delivery label on a package. It goes straight to the recipient's doorstep, right? Like Amazon, I want a 1 day delivery. I don't want to wait on it. 1 day delivery instead of sitting in the post office. So instead of writing in your will, I'll leave my bank to so and so. Now, your account, I'll leave this bank account to so and so. And then that so and so, whoever it may be, have to wait for court approval. The POD is like a secret shortcut. You already told the bank, when I'm gone, bank, just give it to so and so. It's already pre-programmed. So how do we use it? How do you use these PODs? I need to make sure you understand the way we can just quickly put them into place. POD, TOD, bank accounts. Most of us already have bank accounts. If you at your bank, you might already have CDs. But you got to check your state because some states also allow you to use it with your vehicles, with your car titles. But we call that the TOD for the vehicles, okay? Brokerage accounts, if you got stocks and bonds, if you got a 401k or IRA, your retirement accounts. And then think about the life insurance as well. Even though the life insurance policies, we have beneficiary forms for that, they're essentially the same concept. You name who gets it upon death and the proceeds, they're not going to go through probate. They're going to go directly to the beneficiary that you named on that policy, right? Unless for some strange reason you decide to leave your estate as the beneficiary. I don't know why any reason people will do that, but look, they do. And that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day because now you just subject all your life insurance policy to the probate court. But again, another subject for another day. Let me give you a quick tip. Always keep those beneficiary forms updated because if you list your ex on there and y'all break up or someone you have listed on there and they passed away, you got to fix that. The court not going to fix it for you. It's a contract, separate contract. I told you contract law trumps estate law. So the name on that form will control, even if the will says otherwise in most cases. So setting up those PODs or TODs, they're simple. It's just one of the simplest low cost estate planning moves that you can do. Here's one important note that I'm going to move on. Make sure the people that you name on those forms, you kind of tell them, let them know, or at least tell them where to find the paperwork, okay? So they can step in and claim it. And you might want to name backup beneficiaries if you can. We call those contingent beneficiaries in case the primary doesn't. Because what happens is a lot of times those contract companies, they'll wait until somebody notifies them. If not, we say it cheats to the state, meaning it moves to the state holds it into an account, and the beneficiaries have to like go online and see if some property is left over from their decedent, the person that dies, and contact the state and claim that property. You don't want to go through all that, right? Didn't I just give you some powerful stuff? A few signatures can save you and your family money, time, and months of headaches later. Okay? So I'm telling you, number two, name your beneficiaries whenever you can. Use POD and TOD designations to your advantage. Okay? It's part of planning while living that screams, I love me, my life, I love you, and I got you, boo. That's what you said to your family. Y'all ready for some more tools? You thought I was gonna go through teaching this lesson and not keep coming back and saying, ready again? Oh, it's in the chat. Ready in the chat. Ready in the chat. Okay, let me go on. Okay. Let me go. Save this heavy hitter for last. Oh, look at here. Trust. This is the Wagoneer. No. This is the Maybach of estate planning tools. Now, don't tune me out because every time I say trust, be like, ooh, trust. I promise to keep this legal jargon free. You might have heard the trust that, but maybe thought they're only for the ultra richy. Nuh-uh. Or they're just too complicated. No, I'm telling you, it's not true. They can be tremendously useful for regular folks like you and me, okay? So let me break it down. First, what's a trust? What in the world is a trust? At its core, I'm telling you, it's just a legal arrangement. Let's make it real simple. A legal arrangement where you transfer something that you own, your assets, into a special entity, That's a trust to be managed according to the rules you set. As long as those rules are legal, you can pretty much have a trust just for just about anything for the benefit of whoever you chose to benefit from it. That's it. Legal arrangement where you transfer ownership of assets into a special entity, the trust, to be managed according to the rules you set as long as they are real for the benefit of people you choose. Oh my goodness. Think of it as like a treasure chest. Treasure chest for your assets. While you're alive, you often still hold the key. Ooh. If it's where, okay, I got to throw a legal word in there. Okay. This is if it's a revocable living trust. Okay, I'm trying to stay away from all the legalese, but I got to say some of them here and there. You typically, excuse me, you're the trustee. You're going to be managing your assets. And you're a lot of time going to be the beneficiary enjoying it too. So you're like, this is mine. I'm going to oversee it or have someone to help me oversee it, and I get to enjoy it. But when you pass away or become incapacitated, the person you name as a successor trustee, they get to take the key and they distribute the treasure, whatever's left of the treasure, exactly how you instructed. And you don't need the court to tell you to do that, right? So the main benefit with the trust, the assets in a trust, they don't go to probate. That's one of the main benefits. Okay. Plus, it got some tax, things there to kind of help you out with taxation, but that's a whole nother subject matter. I can teach a whole 3, 4 classes about that, but we're not going to go there today. The trust itself lives on after you. That's what you need to know. It is there. It carry out your instructions seamlessly beyond the grave. Okay? If it's funded properly. See, this will get people messed up too. It has to be funded. It can, if it's funded, if you fund it, put the assets in there, there's enough assets for it to continue. It can last for generation after generation after generation after generation. So what that really means, it keeps everybody out your business. There's privacy, no public probate record, and it's get the transfer faster. So no judge there waiting on telling you what to do and what not to do. Let me make it simple. Let me give you an example. Gotta bring it forward and keep it simple. Let's say you have a house and some bank accounts, okay? A house, a bank accounts, and let's throw an investment account in there, okay? So you're going to create a trust. Let's throw a name out there. I'm part of the Brown family, so we're going to say create the Brown Family Living Trust. And you transfer the title of the house to the trust. Okay, you got the deed. The deed is in your name. You got to take the deed out of your name and put the deed in the name of the trust. Okay. You list the trust as the owner or the beneficiary of those accounts too. You got to change them up. You got to again, you fund it, but you got to change the documents. You're the trustee during life. So you know what that means? I said you're the trustee. You get to do what you want with your assets. You buy, you sell, you spend, you invest. No change in the control. The trust, we're going to make it revocable. When I say revocable, I'm just telling you that you can change it or cancel it anytime while you're alive. It's revocable. Now, the trust document itself says something like, when I die, my daughter becomes a trustee and she can distribute the assets to my other children equally or however, whatever you want. Maybe immediately or maybe hold it until my son is 40 and my mom is 102, whatever. I'm just throwing something like that. According to whatever you plan. It's your plan, right? When you pass, your daughter presents the trust document to the bank and the county records, because again, we all got all this transferred over. We took care of the paperwork. And because she's named as a successor trustee, she steps in and follow the instructions. You don't need the court for that. The trust itself gives her the authority. In contrast, if that house was just in your name, she would have to go to court to probate it and invoke her power from the judge. All right. So why a trust? Let me see. I think I'll tell you in the next slide. Why a trust? Well, there's so many reasons why. I didn't say taxation, but taxation should have been number one. But we're not worrying about the taxes and the trust in this class. All right. But there's so many reasons. people decide to have a trust. And I feel like I'm already getting too deep in the legal weeds, so I'm about to pull back. Avoid probate for number one. It keeps your estate out of the courts, which can save time and money, especially if you have property in multiple states. Without that trust, you would have to probate that will in every state and pay the fees each time. So it avoids that process, control and protection. Trust lets you set rules from the grave. What? In a good way. Now, I'm not trying to talk about no spooky hunts and ghost type of stuff. I'm just saying you get to speak from the grave. Now, a will, it leaves instructions of, what to do right when you die. But a trust lets you keep on talking way beyond the grave as long as you want to. You be like, hey, son, hey, grandkids, hey, great grandkids, do this, do that. You say, hey, son, didn't I tell you you get a share? But if you're under 25, you got to wait until you 35. You know what? Make sure you give some money to my grandkids. I need to make sure that's for their education every year. And take care of my mom. She was elderly, and I want to make sure that she's funded and her house is paid for. And hey, wait a minute. I got to protect my beneficiaries. My oldest child, he got problems with spending money. So I got to stagger his money. He going to get this much the first year, this in 5 years, and something else in 10 years. And I got, oh, wait a minute. Creditors, I can protect you from the creditors. Creditors, you can't touch my children. You can't touch their money. And even if they get married and get divorced, their spouses can't touch it either. But from the grave, still talking. Privacy. Unlike a will, the will is public record. People can type up your name and pull up that information. Say, ooh, she had all that in her estate. But with a trust, it's private. They don't know. They don't know your business. No one has to know the details except the people involved. That can keep family affairs more discreet and reduce challenges, right? In capacity planning, the trust can also specify how to handle the assets if you become incapacitated. Just like I said with the power of attorney, it's very simple. It's similar in nature. It's another backup plan, okay? But it's already built in. You don't have to go POA, the will, and this. The trust have it already built in. So your successor trustee can manage the trust assets if you can't for whatever reason, and you still don't have to get the court to interfere. I'm going to kind of quickly describe it and I'm going to move on to another section. Let's say, I got a little prop here today. Let's say the trust is like, let's see what I got here. This basket. You see my basket? The trust is like a basket. And you're going to take the basket and fill it with your assets. Okay. Imagine this like somebody I love, my mother or somebody who knows. Okay. Put all my assets in the basket. Okay. Got all my stuff in my little basket. And what happens? When you're gone, well, right now I'm alive and well. I get to hold on to my basket. I'm holding my basket. I got all my stuff in the basket. I hold my basket. I can take my stuff with me, put it in the basket, and hold on to it. It's mine. It's my stuff, right? And when I'm gone, I've already handed the basket over because inside the basket, I got this trust book. I got this book. It's a rule book inside the basket. To the person I've already left them instructions to, they simple just open up the book and follow the instructions. The trust, right? And it's like, oh, she told me to do what? I didn't have to go to court to do anything. Oh, I get to pass this one on to you. What else this thing tell me? Oh, okay, this goes here. And they just follow the rule book, right? They simply follow the rule book and pass things out of the basket to the right people. No judge looking over their shoulder. The rule book. What is the rule book? The trust document. The rule book is a trust document, right? And the basket legally holds all your stuff, right? The basket holds all the stuff. Here's a key tip I want to leave with you. If you do create a trust, you have to actually, again, fund it. Did you see me put stuff in the basket? You have to put your assets in it or name it beneficiaries. Name it itself, the trust itself as the beneficiary whenever it's appropriate. You got to know what you're doing, okay? Because an empty trust basket is like an empty safe. It got a potential to fill up, right? But there's nothing in there. I've seen folks make beautiful trusts. They like, oh, make it say this, make it say that. And they never go and retitle any of their accounts, never transfer property. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Okay? None of the people I'm working with, I'm not gonna allow them to do that. Like we going to get this funded. We're gonna set this all right. All right. That's our three tools. That was tool number three, the trust, your legacy's best friend for a smooth handoff. You still with me? We covered some big ideas. So let's take a breath. Do this. Rotate your shoulders. Rotate your shoulders back. Got it? Because I'm going to let you celebrate a win. And we covered a lot. We covered a lot. There's your win number two. Give yourself a round of applause. I'm doing it for you. Give yourself a round of applause. You just significantly upgraded your estate planning toolkit. It's time to give you some work. I see. Yeah, applaud yourself. Keep on applauding yourself, right? You can now name and understand three powerful tools to make life easier for your loved ones. What did I say? POAs, power attorneys, the PODs, the TODs, the payable on death, the transfer on death, and the trust, right? So think about it. About 30 minutes ago, maybe some of these acronyms were just alphabet soup. But now you could explain briefly to a friend why naming a POD on a bank account helps avoid court, or how a power of attorney can save your family from guardianship nightmare, or that a trust is not just for the Rockefellers. Look, get out the way. It's for anyone who wants control and peace of mind. That's a huge win because I've learned even as a child, knowledge is power. And you've got some new superpowers today. I want you to jot down just one, if you haven't already, one of these tools that you either had never heard of before, or now either you realize you should implement. Just one. Write one of them down, whichever one you prefer. Maybe it's like, okay, I need to update my beneficiaries on the bank account. That's one. Or you're like, oh, I need to look into this living trust. I have a house. I want to make sure to take care of this and just transfer it over to the trust. Or, you know what? I need to talk to my mom. I need to ask her, does she have a power of attorney? I need to set up a power of attorney for my mom, you know? I need to make sure I can help her handle whatever needs to be handled. Whatever it is, that's a concrete takeaway that you didn't have before. This is progress. You've come a long way in understanding how to smooth out those future transitions. And guess what? We're not done making it easy. Oh, I know. I see the time, but you should have already prepared yourself. You should have known by the time I got to the last point, transfer. And we're going to talk about probates and estate planning. I'm going to pause here and we're going to stay here for a minute, okay? If you with me, you with me. You good? Because guess what? I told you, we're not done. We're not done making it easier. Now that you have the tools, we got to talk about the process that offer a lot of times strikes a lot of fear in people. Where I'm going, back to probate, we're going to talk about it. Probate, how to face it wisely if it comes up. Okay. And I'm going to show you how you can avoid it when possible. Because it is time to have this heart to heart about it. I'm not going to bypass it. I'm going to pause here. We're going to talk about it. It's time to have to talk about it. The actual legal process that kicks in when someone dies to transfer the assets from that person to others and to settle their affairs. I mention it a lot, but I got to demystify it and show you how it's handled smartly. So, what exactly is probate? It is basically the court overseen process. We go to court, you just proving up the will, or you determine if the heirs, if there's no will. We got to prove up the will. If there's no will, we got to determine the heirs. Then you're going to appoint the executor or administrator. Then you go and pay off the debts, the taxes. Then lastly, you distribute all what's left over to the rightful beneficiaries. Okay, who does it go to? Give it to them. Think of it as I say, like the official wrap up of someone's financial life, right? So, in theory, it's a good thing. It provides an orderly transfer, but in practice, it can get messy. It can be slow, it can be burdensome. But that's only because if it's not planned. So, when exactly do we need it? When is it necessary? Usually, when someone dies, they own stuff. Again, I talked about that from the beginning. We all own stuff. We own assets. But a lot of times, everything is in our own name, our only name on all our stuff. So we're the sole beneficiary, right? We don't designate it to nobody. They ain't said if something happened to me, it goes somewhere else. We don't have a trust. Those assets will require probate to legally pass them on. If there's a will, the will goes through probate. If there's no will, we call that intestate. Oh, I know I got to keep throwing these legal words in there. We call it intestate. Probate is still often needed to establish who's going to receive it. Now, some states are so small, then we got these processes and the procedures here in Texas that it goes by really fast. You can don't have to go through this formal probate, but everybody don't have it. Those small special affidavits. Again, don't forget you can use PODs, all of that to avoid probate entirely. But anything that's just stuck in the decedent's name, the deceased person's name, again, the house, the car, the bank account, and they don't have no PODs or anything like that on there, we have to go through probate, right? So, what does this really involve? Again, I only can talk about Texas. Again, I know other states do something similar, but here in Texas, oh, let me tell you another reason I got to talk about Texas because Texas, we have our own estate code. Most other states follow a universal code. Baby, we in Texas, we say we're not following anybody else's code. We have our own individual estate code. Okay. So when I'm talking about Texas, some of the things we do here might be a little different from other states. So let me just got to be about it. It's our state. In Texas, again, and some other states do some of these things as well. If you have a valid will, the executor you named in the will file the will in court, right? Then what happens? The judge will formally appoint that person. And then as long as they qualify, and then they get to go to work. They get to go finding all the assets. We call it inventorying the assets. They go pay all the debts. If there's taxes, they need to make sure they pay the taxes. Then lastly, they start distributing whatever's left over to the beneficiaries. I always tell people, do that last, because I'm telling you, when they get that money, they start handing it off to everybody, and then the taxes come in, and you start calling, hey, I got a tax bill. Can you give me some of that money back to pay the tax? You're not getting that money back. So pay the bills and then distribute the property, right? Now, Texas allows something we call independent administration. Again, I'm not trying to get too deep in the weeds, but I got to get you to understand how this process works. We have independent administration. It's a fancy way of saying once the executor goes to the court and get the paperwork, the court order, the executor get to handle everything pretty much by themselves. They don't have to keep going back to the court and begging the judge for everything every time and get permission when they need to do something. Okay, which is good. That's a good thing. But if we don't have a will, we might have to get an administrator, and the family have to kind of like be more supervised, and the process may be a little bit more complex. Okay, especially if people don't agree. And don't forget the creditors. Creditors can file claims too, even in probate court. But that's a whole nother process we're not going to get into. But how long and how much does it cost? I touched on this earlier. But I'm just going to briefly tell you again, when you're dealing with probate, a straightforward probate, just like the will is clear, there's no fighting. Here in Texas can range you somewhere from 6 to 8 months, give or take, and the cost can be like 3,000, 7,000, and legal and court fees on an average. If things get messy, get contested, Again, you got property that's really hard to value, and there's so much going on, and the family feuding, got family fighting, all of that. It can stretch beyond a year and costs can skyrocket into tens of thousands. I don't say that to freak you out, but I want you to see what's at stake. This is money out of your estate that doesn't go to your loved ones. It goes to us lawyers. Hey, I love my profession, and don't get me wrong, but I do want to make sure you and your family can keep some of that money and not pay it all out in legal fees. Now, even with the best planning, sometimes again, you can't avoid probate. Probate is still needed for part of your estate. And that's okay if you've done your best to simplify it. So let me sum this up because I said this before. Probate is not the enemy. It's not. But it's also not usually a friend. We want to either avoid it or simplify it as much as possible. And now you know how by planning ahead, using the right tools, and preparing your loved ones, right? And that brings us to the most important piece of all. I'm getting to the heart of the matter. The heart behind all this planning. I told you, it runs deep for me. I'm just not doing this because I just wanted to be a probate attorney. We've talked about the documents and the courts and the money, but let's bring it back to love because it's really what this is all about. I firmly believe, I do, that planning and enjoying life while living is the ultimate act of love. It might not be romantic or glamorous on the surface, talking about death and paperwork, but it is one of the most profound gifts you can give your loved ones, right? The people that you really care about. Imagine this scenario. I'm just going to throw it out there. If you don't plan, okay? Let's say you don't plan. Your family, we already know they're going to be grief stricken. Also, might have to scramble to figure out your finances. They gotta maybe even make hard decisions about why you're in the hospital. They don't have no guidance. What do they want? What does she want? What did he want? They may start arguing about what to do, what you want, maybe even split apart over some simple misunderstandings. I've been there, done that, telling you. Sadly, a lack of planning can cause families to fall apart when a mother, a father, the matriarch, the patriarch passes. I've seen it even in my family. Siblings not speaking for years because they felt something was unfair or because stress brought out the worst in everyone. Now, let's imagine the opposite, which is what I want for you. You pass many years from now, okay? I said the word, but many years from now, peacefully, we hope. And though your loved ones are terribly sad, they find themselves, what? With everything in order. They discover you left clear instructions, a will, a trust. Look at you. Spelling out who gets what. You got your beneficiary forms all in place, making funds available to pay for the arrangements, a healthcare director that removed any doubt about what you wanted at the end of the life. Yes, the doctor knows, they know, no questions about it. You even decided to leave personal letters. Look at you. You got videos from you saying loving words, explaining any special bequests and requests. They sit around, maybe even reading the letters you wrote them instead of chaos. There you go. We got clarity. Instead of conflict, maybe even a sense of unity. Hmm, relief. They saying, you know what? My mom, my dad, my friend, they made it so easy for us. Oh my goodness. They get to focus on supporting each other, celebrating your life, not running or zooming in to court hearings at 8 a.m. or digging through drawers for bank statements or receipts. Planning ahead. It smooths the road and takes what? Some of the pain out of a painful time, I'm telling you. It won't erase grief, but it can prevent pouring salt in the wound. I like to call estate planning legacy love letters. Every document, is a message to your family. I love you enough to do for me and for you. As I continue to add more components to my own estate plan, I continue to feel this huge peace because I do. I know if anything happened to me, my two kids will be taken care of with minimal hassle. And that feeling is really priceless. And it's not just peace for me, it's actually future peace for them too. And it takes courage to confront these issues while living. It does. I mentioned stuff to my daughter. She's like, oh, mom, I don't want to talk about that. But it's not fun for most people to think about their mortality or to talk about money and death at the dinner table. But doing so is an act of bravery and love. It's saying, I'm thinking of you, even in a time I won't be here. I want to ease your burden because a lot of us are burdened with so much until it's just not even fair. But picture your closest family members or your friends, maybe your spouse, your kids, your siblings, in the days after your passing. I know it's heavy. Come on, stay with me. I know I'm giving you a lot of heavy stuff, but come on. See them in your mind. Can we do that? Just for a few more minutes. Imagine them either frantically searching for documents, panicking about how to pay your bills, your funeral costs, or disagreeing about what to do with your belongings, or just imagine them. They're sad, but they're calm. They're like, all right, she made a plan. She has everything in a binder, everything we need. The life insurance is paying out next week. The will says what to do with the house. She left a note about her favorite music to play at the service. Did you feel the difference in those scenes? It's night and day. One is chaotic and frantic, and the other is sad but orderly and full of love and guidance from you. My father, even with the limited planning he did write a will. He still showed me how he cared. He tried to make it easier. He just didn't know how to do it, how to use the other steps. And I felt gratitude that he at least had that will. I'm telling you, it could have been even harder without it. So whatever plan you do will be appreciated. I promise you that. Your family will thank you in their hearts, even if they don't know all the technical things that you did to get there. They'll feel relief. Planning while living, that's love. It is love in a practical form. It's like packing an umbrella, because I do this for my daughter. Pack an umbrella in her backpack just because I know she's on the campus. It may start raining. I'm not there with her, but I know that she can grab the umbrella when it starts raining and it's going to keep her dry. That's taking care of future needs. So I encourage you, even if this is uncomfortable, to approach this step with full heart. Don't see it as morbid or merely legal. See it as a part of what and how you care for your family. This mindset will make it easier to actually get it done. And remember, you're not alone. I'm walking this journey with you. I am. We all in this business of protecting our loved ones from unnecessary pain. All right? Well, let me wrap this up. I gotta get us out of here. I got some next few steps from you. So are you ready? See, I gotta lighten it back up, lighten the room back up. I made it so heavy. I gotta clear it up. Are you ready? There it is. Do I see it in there? Ooh, do I? Yes, yes, yes. There you go. The thumbs up. I see you. You are ready. I know you're ready. You're ready for your next win. Win number 3. You shifted your mindset. Did you feel that? You shifted your mindset today from estate planning is scary or someday to estate planning is an act of love I'm capable of right now. That's a massive win, I'm telling you. It's a massive win. So take stock of how you're feeling right now versus how you was feeling about an hour ago because we went a little over today, going in a little deeper. So I took you a little further. Maybe earlier I'm gonna say that you felt maybe intimidated by some of the words I was saying, probate and other little terms, trust, whatever. Now, I know you feel informed. Maybe you've even been avoiding thinking about these things. And now I'm gonna say you're probably inspired to act out of love because we're moving in love. Perhaps maybe you identified some specific actions you'll take. Like I'm gonna call my office. Oh, I'm talking about my office. You're gonna call my office to get that will done, or set up your beneficiaries on your accounts this weekend, right? If so, I'm look at my hand going, I'm giving you a high five mentally because that's progress. That's momentum. Even if you already had some planning done, maybe now you realize you can what? Fine tune it. Go double check your own life insurance policies. Go check them. Go add transfer on death deed to your house. You are more equipped and less overwhelmed. And that was a major goal of mine for today. So often, all these topics that we're talking about leave people feeling scared straight. I'm not going to do that. I told you that from day one. I want you leave feeling strong and loving. And I hope you do. We've been, well, you've been with me. Most of you been with me with this Legacy Lux from week one. Think about all those micro wins across the weeks. You come so far and talk about seizing, managing, growing, protecting, and now transferring your legacy. You done it. It's not in theory anymore. You have knowledge to put it into practice. I'm going to keep saying it. Congratulations on today's wins. Now let's discuss how you can keep this momentum and what support is available for your next steps. Because I'm not about to let you stop at learning. I want to see you implement and transform. Okay? How are we going to do that? What we're not doing, this session is not going to magically solve everything because you're going to need to take some actions. Action is required. I just want to be clear. Having attended and learned all this wonderful information is not done until you what? You do it. I say this in love because I want you to get the results. So, what this session isn't a substitute for taking action, it is the inspiration and information before action. The actual change happens when you go and update that beneficiary, when you book that appointment to draft a will, when you talk to your family about your plans. Now, promise me you'll take at least what? What I say you're going to have to do, at least what? At least one action in the next week while this is fresh on your mind, okay? Again, I'm going to keep pushing, even if it's small. One phone call or just one document. Go gather at least one document. That's knowledge. It shouldn't just live in your notebook. Let's translate it into real life. I think we stayed true to what we promised. I did. I tried to make it conversational. I tried to make this story-driven session that left you feeling more equipped, not overwhelmed. If anything still feels overwhelming, please tell me in my chat in school. I post the link at the beginning there. It's still in the chat. You click that link, go into my school community, and leave me a message, okay? I'm here to help clarify because indeed the goal was to demystify and empower. All right, with that said, let's move into what happens after this session. How can you do it? Keep building on what? The foundation. You know what I got for you. So what happens after you log off today? Well, one thing I hope that happens, if you haven't already, you go and take the Legacy Lux quiz. Yep, that's a short little quiz waiting for you. You knew it was coming. If you've been here before, you know I was going to talk about the quiz. Don't worry. It's not the bar exam or anything. It's just a friendly little quiz to reinforce your learning. It's about, I think, about 5 or 10 questions or so. It just helps you see what decisions are already costing you time and money. Okay. If you don't want to see that, I'm gonna keep telling you that's okay. But if you do, I got the link. I'm gonna drop the link. Let me get over here to the little document on the side here. All right, copy this. I'm putting the link in the chat. The link in the chat. The link is in the chat for the legacy readiness quiz. Okay. It also is going to provide you the scorecard. It only takes about 2 minutes or so for you to take the quiz. It's going to tell you little things like um, describe to you what's been exposed, what you still need to kind of get organized. And I think it kind of guides you to some basic steps of what to do as well. Okay. It's just a little something to help give you a sense of direction, right? All right. What else I got for you? I'm also always going to ask you to take a minute to pause and reflect. I encourage you strongly to share one thing, just one thing you learned today with someone. It could be your partner, it could be your friend, it could be your parent, just anybody, anyone. Teaching others is a fantastic way to solidify your own understanding. Maybe dinner tomorrow, tonight, you can mention, like, hey, did you know you if you only have a will, your family still has to go to court. I mean, just bring it up. Just talk about it. You're like, I learned some things about POD designation. We can use that, and then kind of tell them how that you can use it. You'll find that it sparks interesting conversations, and who knows, you might inspire them to get their act together too, right? All right, so now, listen, I'm always going to remind you this as well. Legacy is built while you're living. Actually, legacy planning can be quite contagious in a good way. So, why don't you be the catalyst in your circle? I'm definitely planning on being a catalyst in my circle. I am not just my circle. My goal is to take this to the community. I am trying to get my whole community involved some type of way. It may take me a minute, but that's the plan. And I want you to do the same for yours. Now, also, while we're reflecting, reflect personally as well. What's one action? Because you can see I keep going back to the action. What's one action you will take in the next week to move your transfer plan forward? I want you to write it down. I really want you to move forward and come up with one action. Yeah, I'm still here. Write it down. You got it. It could be, again, call your auntie. Ask her, hey, auntie, you got a will? I want to help you get that taken care of. Or it could be like, again, if you're a texter, be like, let me schedule that appointment with who? With me, with why? Me, estate planning attorney. Yeah, take action. You can set up an online bank beneficiary form. You can go do that. Take care of that. You know? Again, something like, let me just gather up all my accounts and put them on a spreadsheet so I can have an idea of what I have. Just pick one concrete step and commit to it and get it done. You gain the knowledge. You got to turn all that wisdom into action. Okay. Those are your immediate next steps. All right. Did you take the quiz? Mm-hmm. Did you take the quiz? You thought I was going to forget to ask you about it because I already know some of you will and some of you won't, but that's okay. And I know some of you saying, I've already done the quiz. What's beyond the quiz, right? I know this. I appreciate this session. What's next? This session was great. You had me do more. I need more support. Don't worry. I got some invitations for you. Okay. Which brings me to our closing section about staying connected and getting even more help with this legacy journey. So, what's next? Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about this, and I have been waiting to share as we wrap up this whole Legacy Lux live series. I know how many of you are eager to put all of this into practice. I know you've been waiting. So I want to invite you to the next phase. You need to join the priority list for my upcoming Legacy Lux Challenge. Secure the Bag Challenge. You're like, what is that? Secure the Bag Challenge. Let me tell you. I'm just going to break it down for you real briefly because I'm so glad you asked. It's a live, hands-on challenge I'm hosting soon. Think of it as a focused sprint where over a few days, we'll tackle key tasks in real time. Okay. So it's going to be designed where I help you implement what you've already learned in this series. Okay. This was a 6-week series. So it's about challenge is going to be at least about 5 days. It's going to help you implement those things, but in a fun, community supported way though. So we'll do things like actually listing out all the assets, updating beneficiaries on the spot. maybe drafting or finding your basic estate plan, at least an outline, okay? So what I'm saying is going to be actionable. It's going to be energizing. And yes, there might be even things like prizes and surprises along the way. I'm trying to keep it fun. Can we do that? So when I talk about the challenge, it's not ready yet. I have this priority list. And being on my priority list, you'll get early access to register for the challenge when it's ready. Okay. Before it even opens up to the public, I'll let you know because I think it's going to be just some limited spaces because it's going to be the first one and we're trying to make it interactive. So I'm going to have limited space. But if you're on the list, you'll get contacted first. You get notified if there's going to be any special bonuses and the discounts. Okay. Not telling everybody about that. But if you're on the list, you'll get to know first. But the key is priority list ensures you won't miss out. You get all the details first. You can decide if it's right for you or not, right? So let me stress this. This is not about joining a paid cohort or anything like that today. No, we're not doing it right now. I am simply inviting you to just raise your hand. Raise your hand and say, yes, keep me in the loop about the challenge. The challenge itself, when it finally launches, will have its own info and like will not be free. I need to say that right now so we understand that it is not going to be free, but it will be affordable. The goal is to do what? Get you moving. See, I was trying not to leave the day without you. I'm telling you, I want to get you moving, not to create a barrier. I mentioned not cohort because I know earlier in the series, I kept talking about a cohort program, but this challenge is separate. It's a more immediate task oriented. If a bigger coaching program happens later, that's another story. But the challenge is the next step I recommend for everyone here. How to join it. You're like, come on, you talked about it. Now tell me how to join the priority list. Let me drop that link. I got a link for you. I'm going to grab it from here. Hold up. I have a document over here. I'm dropping the link to the challenge in the chat. There it is. All right. I dropped the link in the chat. Now, all you got to do is to make sure that you sign up with that, sign up, get your name on the list, and we will be in contact. And if you're on the fence, you say, I'm not really sure, get on the list anyway. Sign up, get on the list. You can always decide later not to do it, but at least you have the option, right? Many of others have already told me, they said, okay, TaQuita, I love all this information that you're carving out and actually is doing everything I believe is going to be kind of difficult. I'm scared. I'm hard. It's going to be hard. And I've heard you. And that's why I said the challenge is the answer. I don't expect everybody to run out and get their whole estate planning done, a whole smart plan done. So with the challenge, we can walk through some of these steps. We will carve out that time together. I'll be there live to coach you through it. Imagine by the end of the challenge week, you could have tangible outcomes. Again, I'm planning on making sure you have a completed beneficiary audit, maybe even a skeleton of a will or trust ready to finalize, a checklist personalized to you, and so much more. Okay. So hop on the priority list. I really love to see our legacy Lux crew continue into and really make magic happen. Oh, and I have one more special option to mention. I haven't mentioned this one before, particularly for those who want some personal one-on-one help sooner than waiting on that challenge. You ready for it? What I got? Get past this slide. What I got for you? Ooh, look at this. Mm. Fast action bonus 101 one-to-one consult offer. Yes, as we wrap up, I want to address those of you who might be thinking, this is great, but I got some particular questions that I need to talk to you about or a complex situation. I could use some individual guidance. Maybe you're feeling like you want to get your plan done now before this challenge or anything else, was coming in the future. You don't feel like waiting. Now, for you, I'm opening up a limited number of 101 legacy strategy sessions with me at a special rate as a thank you for being part of this live class series. This is entirely optional. It's not a sales ploy. It's just an offer because some of you have asked about working with me directly. Here's the deal. Normally, my one-on-one consultations range from $400 to $650, right? For about an hour. We dive in deep into what is your situation is, and trust me, we get a lot done in an hour. But for the first maybe 5 people or so that I see that respond to this offer, because my schedule can only accommodate so many, I'm offering a heavily discount fast action rate of $197. 197 for the session. And it's going to be exclusively for the people that have been participating in my Legacy Lux series, the attendees. And I'm also going to allow them to use it to refer some of their family and friends. So basically, to get your momentum going fast. In this private consult, we can do things like review what estate plan documents that you have. If you have some, if you don't, that's okay. Identify the gaps. I can answer all those personal questions about your assets, about family issue questions, and help you outline a concrete plan. You'll leave with clarity on exactly what your next steps are and tailored again just for you. And if you need legal services beyond that, we'll get to talk about that as well. But the session itself is value packed, even if you take that plan and you go to another attorney to execute it with no strings attached. You'll at least have the plan to utilize. If that speaks to you, here's how to grab it. I got a special booking link I'm going to throw it in the chat. After still our consultation link. Let me see if I can copy this. Putting it in the chat now. And there's special categories. You got to drop down and select the proper category in order to select that special scheduling appointment time. And I want you to also put a special code in the information box. When you fill out the form, or if you talk to anyone in the office, you're going to say, I'm signing up for the 101 fast action bonus consult offer, and put legacy love, or tell them based off legacy love. And that's where you get the discount. Because if you go online and click it, it'll still probably try to charge you $400. But if you tell us that, we can make an adjustment and you pay the $197. Okay. Now, again, once those slots are taken at that rate, that code is going to expire. So if you want you want to participate it, you definitely need to jump on it as soon as possible. And then if I get it overwhelmingly more than 5 people that are interested, I'll see what I can do to make some adjustments. But again, we'll deal with that when time comes. Again, no pressure at all. I just want to make sure those who need that personal touch know it's available, even if you just have a gut feeling like, maybe I should, I have some unique situations, some circumstances, feel free to snag a spot, because it's going to be first come, first serve. Okay. If that's not you, no worries whatsoever. You have the group challenge and you have all the knowledge from this series that we've done. So you're equipped to proceed on your own if that's your style as well. So there we go. You got your resources to support you, whether you prefer the group momentum or you just need to do this on your own with your own individual attention. I've got your back either way. Okay. So I'm getting ready to close out of here. But before I do, we covered a lot. And I'm not going to say the time. We went over time, but that's okay. As we come to a close, I want to speak from my heart. I'm always going to first tell you thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, not just for today, but for all the weeks of this Legacy Lux series. You invested your time and your trust in me, and I don't take that lightly. Really, I don't. It has been an honor to be your guide. But the order matters. We went through the whole process. We talked about protect, grow, enjoy, then said pass it on. The order really does matter. So look at what you've accomplished in these weeks. You're taking steps to seize control of your finances, manage them wisely, grow your wealth, protect what you built, and now you got a plan to transfer it with love and ease. Yeah, that's huge. Most people never even scratch the surface of these topics. And you done it in style, with curiosity, with courage, and with an open mind by coming here every week. I want you to walk away feeling empowered. I told you that. The legacy you live and leave because I said you got to live it first. Live and leave is truly in your hands right now. You got the tools, you have the knowledge, and I hope the inspiration to go write that beautiful next chapter, the one where your family's future is secure and bright because of actions you've taken today and the last couple of weeks. Remember, I'm sticking with legacy. It's not about just the money or the stuff. It's also about the values and example you set. By handling your affairs responsibly and lovingly, you're not only just teaching yourself, you're going to teach your next generation. You're teaching your kids. You're teaching your community what it means to care for one another across generations. You're being that wise ancestor in training every family needs. Because I'm telling you, it takes one. One do it, the others will follow suit. I'm telling you, they will. And how awesome is that? That you know you set the race, the pace for your family. Okay, let me get on because I will get going. How are we going to move forward? I encourage you to keep the momentum. Don't shelf this folder of notes and forget about it. Use it. Schedule that meeting, have that conversation, and celebrate each step you complete. Seriously, pause, celebrate, go talk about it. Have a dinner and sit down and go over it. And something when you finish it, when you finally get that full estate plan done, celebrate that too. It's a big deal. It really is. My final, honest, direct, and loving plea. Don't wait. Life is too unpredictable. Planning is something you do when you don't need it. So that's knowing it's there when you do, right? We don't know. So I often say, and I'm going to say it plainly, once again, if you don't decide, someone else will. But you, I'm going to call you a friend now because you've been coming here with me every week. My friend, you're deciding, you're choosing to be proactive. And that's the best decision you can make for your legacy. Please stay in touch, whether through challenge, through the console, or just by following my Texas Law Diva channels for more tips. Joining my Security Bag Society community in school, SKOOL. I'm here as a resource, and I genuinely care about your outcomes. I do. If you stumble or have questions down the line, you know where to find me. All right. I'm going into an official close. About to close this session. About to close out the series. You know what? Let me pick my cup. I'm gonna pick up my cup. You got a cup? You got it. You got a glass of tea. You got some wine. What you got? You got some water right there. Raise it up. Raise your cup up. We're about to close out. We're gonna close out with a toast, a virtual toast. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up to our future where our loved ones are protected. Mm-mm-mm. Our hard work pays forward, and our legacy shine brightly for generations. You got that? Cheers. So, yes, 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 yes. All right, now, hey, what I got? Last slide, last two, I believe. Whew. If you're serious, you already know. You know what to do. Take that quiz. If you already have, good, great, great, great. And if you're ready, join the challenge priority list. Go and join the list, okay? Or go ahead and book that one-on-one strategy call. You can do that because everything else comes later in that order. It will. Now, if you got some questions, you still have time to ask your questions. You got questions or comments, please be sure to add your questions and comments in the registration each time. If you miss that, you could drop your question or comments in my Secure the Bag Society school community. Just in case you missed it at the beginning, let me copy one more time. I think I have it here. I'm gonna copy one more time. Put it in the chat for you. Get over there in my school community. Secure the Bag, SKOOL's community, school community, and ask your questions. Ask your questions. Okay? All right, guys. That's it. The series is done. Thank you for your attention. Now I'm going to say go forth and build the legacy Lux, right? Till next time, you know where to find me. I'm going to be here in Zoom. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you again and have an incredible legacy. Bye-bye.